Good morning. See if that helps a little bit. I don't know. Give me a second. Might help a little bit. Get some of that glare out of our face. There we are. So, good morning, friends. How are we? Welcome to Paranormal Witchcraft LLC, where we approach the paranormal differently. All right. So, that being said, let's light some incense. There's somebody in here. Good morning. How are you? Or good afternoon for some of you. Or if you're across the pond in Europe, good evening. This is Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. I am Tobias Josephson. Now you just showed up, Chris. So now that you're on camera with me, it makes it a lot easier to explain what I was telling you. Not only is it people's names or people's groups, I think it's also other platforms they're going to start attacking. Because if we look at it, it's direct competition. And now that's a problem for that app. Okay. And so that's what I was explaining is I tried to share just this YouTube channel. All right. Just by using the link and the word YouTube 2 or 3 times. And they immediately restricted me. And so my first thought, it was like maybe you or someone else that reported me and had been watching it. And then I stopped and thought about it. I'm like, no, it's got to be the words we used because I shared our lives last night. All right. And so usually when they restrict you, it's something they just looked at. And so whatever it is, it's either somebody calling us unwelcome because this is a high traffic, all right, app, and it's in direct competition with Meta, which is also known as Facebook. So with that being said, my friend, welcome to Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. We do approach the paranormal differently. All right. And our slogan here is containment over chaos. All right. And evidence over egos. Containment over chaos. Evidence over egos. Good morning, Truth Tarot Readings. And good morning, Christopher Stant from Stant Investigations. I am Tobias Josephson. You two know that already. But for formal announcements to anyone else out there on YouTube, the reason we don't have many people flooding in here is because we are in the seed stage of this channel. What that means is YouTube doesn't know what to do with our content. That's why we only have like 5 to 10 viewers. That's why I'm asking you guys to keep engaging in the chat. Keep responding the entire lives. Go up top where it says like the video. One of you, if feel free to do that every video. That will get it thrown into the algorithm with everyone else on YouTube, from what I understand. And then over time, it will find a niche for us. All right. So the title of today's morning live stream discussion, obviously last night we started experimenting, all right, to back up our claims, all right, and our discussions, and I've given it a name, all right. We're going to kind of treat these live streams now like a sort of paranormal laboratory experiment type thing for the next most of the month. We're going to stop about April 1st or so. All right. And so that's what these are. All right. I've given them a name. All right. And we are looking for our niche. All right. And this is a pretty good way to do it. And so I like the idea. It's engaging. You guys have to stick around to see what happens later. So we're going to do experiments every night like we did last night to prove what happens when escalation is taken away from an investigation. All right. Containment over chaos principles. The hidden moment investigations accidentally create their own activity. That's the title we're discussing here today. Now, Chris, you can share this on YouTube if you want, but please be careful, man. You don't have to. I wouldn't recommend it. I thought about sharing it before the live, and I don't think they're going to let me do anything. All right, this is my third restriction, and we know what that means. Okay, our group's on a bullseye. Thank you, my love. I'll take a couple for my feet now if you open them. Okay, my wife just came back, so here's our opening hook line. Hook, line, and sinker. It's up to you if you choose to buy into this or not. We're not here to attack anybody. This framework won't be for everybody. And remember, we're not here to attack your beliefs. Let me ask investigators out there something really uncomfortable this afternoon. When activity increases in an investigation, did you discover something? Bear with me. Or did you create something? Now, I put a tagline on my post this morning, all right, and it said something like calm or provoke in the comments. So if you believe that true paranormal investigation should remain calm and observance first, type calm in the comments, please. If you believe that you should provoke the location and the spirits there or whatever's residing there, because you think that's how evidence is made, then type provoke in the comments below. Because there is a hidden moment in many paranormal investigations with many lead paranormal investigators where observation quietly turns into escalation. If you remember a couple days ago, Chris, I gave you a personal challenge to go around this platform and other platforms, watch their live streams or their episode, whatever it is they term it, and go through them. Go watch the podcast. See if you're noticing any of this escalation techniques. See if they themselves are noticing themselves doing stuff subconsciously. That's why I said we're not here to attack anybody. Sorry, I'm putting hot hands on my feet. I have Raynaud's and my feet are freezing. So I'm wearing a fucking parka and it's 60 degrees outside. It's wild. Really wild when you have Raynaud's, and I'm Norwegian, and so Raynaud's is something it's inherited. So as a Viking, I look back at the Viking series now on Netflix and on Amazon and wherever else it streams, and I just think if half of those people had Raynaud's like I did, and they're out there in those winter scenes, like how did they survive? That's what I wonder. So let's continue. So here's some engagement for you. Have you ever watched investigators say things like, if you're here, prove it? Or I'll give you another one. Touch this device right here. So let's go down a little bit. You guys can see that device, and I'll hunker down. So touch this device right here. All right. You're mean mugging the camera. You want those ghosts to know what's going on, those demons, all right? Especially since this is part of the demonic title arc. That just means that's what we're doing for the next few weeks. That's our topic. Knock something over. Go ahead. Come on, right here. You see that? Knock this out of my hand. I dare you. That's escalation. That is not investigation, my friends, okay? A brand new coffee mug this morning that Fonda got me, and I'll read it for you. Nothing like the smell of freshly brewed, magical, psychotic rage stabilizer in the morning. So, if you feel a little bit like this morning, this cup's for you. That moment, though, that I was just talking about right there is where most paranormal investigators, most demonic investigators often changes the narrative. All right. You see how easy that was done. Now, if you're new, you don't know any better. You think that's just how paranormal investigating or a haunting investigating is supposed to go, but it's not. Paranormal investigation should begin with observation. We are only here to observe these phenomena. Quiet observation. Environmental awareness is the most important thing we can give these locations and offer the spiritual realm we're trying to communicate with and interact with in our investigations. All right, we're going to say it again. All right, everybody wants to get Belial or Lucifer or Zozo or whatever it is. Okay, everybody does. All right, but just because you want to escalate there right away, that doesn't mean that Zozo's there. Most people skip that step entirely, the environmental emotional awareness. They walk into an environment and immediately start demanding attention, start demanding interaction, start demanding communication. These things really have nothing to prove to us. I hope everyone out there in YouTube land understands that. So here's a line of authority we can use and try something different. That's not observation. That, again, you'll hear this word repeated a lot here on this channel, is simply escalation. And any human being can grab a device and use escalation. Anyone can. But not everybody can adhere to the discipline of proper paranormal investigation protocols. Not everybody wants to. Now, remember, we're not here to attack or debate anybody. All right. We're just asking some really hard questions and talking about it in a real informal way. And then we will be treating these discussions like an experiment. All right. And we will be experimenting with this discussion tonight at 8. We will be doing so every day. 11 o'clock and 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock and 8 o'clock. 11 o'clock, we're still waking up. You might be on lunch break somewhere. At 8 o'clock, when you get home, you can tune back in and you can see if we're right or wrong. All right. And then we're going to do a demonstration right here together. So we hope you guys return later. Tell your friends, tell your other groups and such on Facebook, which is also Meta or TikTok or whatever. Share this link to the channel, please, and thank you. Okay. That's how you do that. Because, Chris, I will never share again, ever, ever. That was the last straw. That's how serious I am. And Patreon, here we come. All right. I have so many things on my plate, it's not funny. I have to break off today and get that LARP thing going for Matt Hornick and team May 1st. All right. I haven't even started that, so I have to do that today. All right. But I'm very clearly going to give a serious start to the Patreon setup because I will not be interacting on social media, especially Meta, going forward anymore. The groups are there. We'll be interacting and engaging in the groups, but I will never be sharing again. That was the last straw, all right? Because that's what they want me to do. They want me to just shut down my account and leave. I'm not going to do that as a free human being. I have the right to stay on Meta, all right? But that's what's going on, Chris, is the platform is very clearly looking for anything they deem not welcome. Okay. And then they're using excuses as we are upsetting high traffickers. Okay. So there's a bunch of people over there who fall in line with the owner's mindset. And that's all it is. Let those people stay there. Take your business elsewhere. That's the only thing those people understand. You take the money out of their pocket. Okay. I have no doubt if I get thrown off that platform that both groups will survive. Okay. Because I've worked for over 5 years with Brotherhood, and I know that there's a few good souls in paranormal that'll keep it running online. Okay. And remember, I can always create another profile. I might even do that. Okay. Because then I can share whatever I want. Maybe I'll do that today. I see people doing that all the time. Let's see. So let's get into that. It's just purely escalation when people do that. Knock this out of my hand. Okay. I'm sure that's not all the spirit's going to do to you. An escalation changes environments. Okay. It's that easy. It's a simple psychological suggestion, and the whole room is off to the races. But that's not investigation. It's just immaturity and escalation. And they're calling it demonic. They're calling it investigation. Will they hold up to their peer scrutiny? We don't know that. Here's an example breakdown for you. Imagine investigators entering a location with an EMF device. Happen to have one right here. I'll show you. You can stare at it. It's brand new. Yes, it's pretty. All right. Not as hard as you think to create your own devices. So go check out Blue Mountain Paranormal here on YouTube. Go talk to Matt Hornick and team. Okay. Okay. Beautiful, ingenious idea. I loved it. Imagine investigators entering a location with an EMF device. Firstly, we will sit and quietly observe. That's investigation. We'll do it now. We'll leave this on in the background. If you guys see anything that interacts with me in the background at any point in this live, please comment below and I'll get out of the way so you guys can look at that. Okay. Watch that and let me know if anything happens. Okay. So first we walk into the place, we quietly observe after we've set up, we've done our psychological, environmental pre-checklist here at Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. All right. And Blue Mountain Paranormal does whatever they do when they set up and get ready. Okay. Remember, we are affiliates, also known as partners, but we are separate entities. Just like Brother Chris Stant, his Stant investigation team with his son, they're separate entities. They're affiliates of us, okay, et cetera, et cetera. That's how that works. So that is the truth about investigation. That is when we are allowed to begin asking questions. Then we can repeat our questions in confidence in this authority, calm, monotone intensity level. We can repeat those questions. Our attention can stay focused on the device now. Now you can challenge the environment. It says here, do something. All right. We have to remember that spirits have free wills too, I believe. All right. Not sure how we would prove that, but I think because they have the choice whether or not to attack you, shows me proof that free will might pass on with us. All right. Just an idea that our consciousness and our energy is carried when we leave this meat suit. It would make perfect logical sense that if somebody was a demon, because they've been around that long, all right, that they would have free will to not answer that aggression we just asked. Let's ask another one. Pay attention to what's going on. Move something. Make a light blink. What's wrong with you? You see how I'm not giving it time to react. I'm constantly attacking it. I'm trying to piss it off. Okay? Show me how strong you really are. All right? You know they can see you. Okay? So no dice, right? Come on. Use your energy. You see how I shifted from calm and then we immediately went into escalation investigation mode? Okay? At that point, the environment is no longer being observed. Think about it. If you've ever been in a situation like that and somebody did that, think about what happened in that moment in that investigation. Did everybody in the room get up? Did half of the people in the room get up and follow that narrative immediately? But notice this about that moment. At that moment, the environment was no longer being observed, it was being escalated. You were throwing rocks at the spirit. For what? What's the point of doing that? Remember, any human being who is challenging a demon should very well know what they're doing. Okay? So, public service announcement, don't fuck around and find out. All right. As much as we'd love to have a spirits evaluation case right now here at Paranormal Witchcraft LLC, no news is also good news. All right. Just because we offer a service doesn't mean that's all we're pining for. You have to remember people's lives get disrupted. People can get harmed in real time. They lose sleep, etc. Any number of factors. All right. So it's not necessarily something to be running after as a paranormal investigator. If you find yourself caught up in a real demonic situation, stick around. Okay. So at that point, use your energy. Rah! It's no longer a regular investigation. It's a free for all being affected by humans. The professionalism just went out the window. It's being simulated at that point. The feedback loop. Many investigations accidentally create a feedback loop, and here's how. I'll elaborate. Once that loop begins, activity often appears to increase. Somebody notices something, the attention kicks in. Their curiosity peaks. All right. Like we said, you start slowing down when you start, right? You'll start slowing down. Your attention's been triggered. Curiosity starts kicking in. Provocation. You think that if you think the demonic or dark spirit can't see that, of course it can. You start reacting, gripping tighter. All right. So if they choose to attack you, since you're being so rude, then you've got it coming and you're reacting the proper way because now you're effed. Okay. Now you're giving it more attention. You might be leaning forward. Your breath might change, might sound something like you're just waiting for something to happen, even though nothing's really happening. Do you see how the 86% of what's going on in your head is fake? Do you see how that ties in here this morning? Okay. Once that loop begins, activity often appears to increase. Okay. We're just stating. Okay. So here's a teaching moment if you want to do something different about it. By the way, answer yes or no in the comments below if you've seen a blink or any type of movement that I haven't seen while I'm facilitating. Keep your eyes on this Ouija EMF. Okay. I could be mistaken. There could be something in here like we saw the other night. It does tend to show up only when it's in the mood. All right. Maybe you guys can coax it into saying hi for us. This is why containment matters. Containment over the chaos of what people are calling investigation right now, and evidence, validated, credible evidence over everyone's paranormal egotistical style. You see how that plays well. Containment over the chaos that's being purported as demonic, dark, and paranormal investigation versus the look at me, everything's freaky, you're going to get possessed thumbnails, which is the egos over the evidence. It's being assumed before you guys even tune into the podcast that something's going to happen. All right. That is escalation and it's a psychological hook. That is all it is. That's why containment matters. Without containment, investigators have no chance at all and then get looped in and drugged into the chaos of what everybody around us calls true investigation. And chaos produces unreliable, chaotic evidence. But because it feeds everyone's adrenaline spike and everyone's fear mongering, what does it do? It's easy clickbait. Okay. So tonight's test, tonight's laboratory experiment, if you will, I didn't want to allow the technology to give us a title that sounded like a mad scientist laboratory experiment, but I can kind of dress the part. And so I kind of am having fun with the wordage in a different way, but very similar concept. All right. As much like mad scientist here, we are testing our own examples. All right. We are testing paranormal sessions. All right. Very much like a laboratory experiment, but we are including you guys in YouTube land. You have to come back at 8 o'clock to see which device we're going to use and what test we're going to use as the experiment. And I will have a trench coat, probably the purple one or the one with skulls on it, on. All right. To kind of play the mad scientist paranormal guy. All right. And so tonight at 8 p.m., we will experimentally test this idea using the scientific structural chaos over containment over chaos, and then we'll do another session egos over evidence. We'll reverse that part of the mantra and give you guys what you want. We'll attack these things and see what happens. So tonight at 8 p.m., we test the idea in a structured laboratory, if you will, experiment setting. We'll have 2 sessions. Session 1, we'll use a more environmental baseline session. It'll have limited interaction. We'll show you guys the observation window. One will be calm, one I'll be attacking it like we did last night. There'll be no theatrics in the first one. There'll be no provocation in the first one. Just quiet, structured, responsible, environmentally and psychically checked environment observance. Next, we'll do another one like you just saw, where I will balls to the wall go, let's go. I've got even Asmodeus at my back here. Let's see what you all got. All right. And we'll see what we can get. We will use chaos baseline or escalation baseline investigation techniques that everyone else out there loves. We will be using extreme interaction techniques. Phase 3, we will be using the observation window to use every technique we can in a brief period of time to antagonize and interrogate. And then phase 4, we will close down again properly. All right. But there will be theatrics in the second session. There will be provocation in the second one. And it won't just be observation. All right. It'll be literally like us kicking in a door for a raid. We know you're here. Everybody put your hands up in the air. Turn around, spirits and demons. We're here for you. All right. And so we'll see how that goes. It'll be fun. But you have to return to these live streams to see what happens. Now, before we do the closing lines, have you seen anything happen? Yes or no? Has anything happened while I was talking over the last 30 minutes? No. All right. So now you know we have a stable environmental baseline in this room. And that was important because I wanted all of you to see that. So if new people wander in later at 8 o'clock, you few people who know me well enough will know that we've already given the baseline data here. Now people have to come back because they'll already know that. And then the new people who come in and interact with us may not. This way, when you guys engage with them, you see how that's going to create a storyline as we go in from mornings to nights to next morning to night. Okay? We're not just creating simple lives like everyone else on social media. We're not just talking about our day. We're not just talking about what we're doing at Paranormal Witchcraft. We're showing you. Okay? Whereas most people just won't show you what they're doing. They don't want to show you their work. Okay? Paranormal Witchcraft LLC, where we approach the paranormal differently. We use containment over chaos principles, protocol, We do have a field manual. All right. For those people who don't like that, well, I don't think I have it here with me. Yes, I do, actually. No, I don't, actually. I thought I did. But we do have a field manual that I personally use, and it is for structural, ethical, and responsible investigating, and it shows everyone how to effectively and responsibly close any session. Okay. I don't have it in here anymore, but here's everything we've talked about just in the last January through February alone. This is a book that we've already discussed in brand new educations and structural framework. Okay. This is just what you guys are witnessing today at the front. And I already have the 8 p.m. printed out. Okay. Which will what, Chris? Help me be more on time. Anyways, so that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. Okay. It was actually my pleasure. And if it is tonight for you, or if it is afternoon, it is about afternoon. It's about noon here. Okay. So if you're in Los Angeles, it's not quite noon yet. So good morning. If you're in Chicago, good afternoon. If you're overseas, good evening. Paranormal investigation shouldn't be driven by our egos. It's great that I'm a person that's comfortable in front of a camera. It's great that I'm somebody is comfortable dealing with all kinds of people. But remember, not everybody out there it is. Okay. Paranormal investigation should be driven by evidence. Paranormal investigation should be driven by curious minds, scientific approaches, skeptical approaches, environmental checklists, psychological environment checklists, meaning internally making sure you're good. Okay, so you're not going to fuck up your investigation's energy. Containment over chaos, evidence over egos. All right. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we will remove the escalation from the environment and observe what happens. And then we will insert the escalation again back into the environment in session 2 and observe what happens again, much like a laboratory experiment. And I am just mad enough to be that laboratory assistant. So if activity changes tonight, you guys will witness that with us. Okay. So thank you for tuning in this morning. And I believe I was actually on time. And so that's important. We look at the small wins here. Remember, we are a brand new company. We are a startup. And this is a very brand new channel here on YouTube. All right. So as you'll notice, we are in the seed phase, which means we have under 100 subscribers. All right. But we don't advertise like everybody else does because it's not a grow quick scheme here on this channel. We aren't a one hit wonder. Okay. So that's a lot of the problem in the paranormal field right now is a lot of people are coming up and using their ignorance, using their immaturity, all right, and using their egos to push their teams and their investigations. Okay. Now, we're not here to debate with anybody whether or not that's right or wrong. You do you. Okay. But here at Paranormal Witchcraft, we approach the paranormal differently. Okay. So, that being said, we will see you guys later tonight at 8 p.m. I don't think I have my phone near me, or I could tell you the title. I suppose I can. Alrighty. Where is it? That's not the right one. When I find it, I will show you. Thought I had it. It could be, it just put it in the background. So containment laboratory session number 1, it will be observation without provocation. All right. Or it'll be a live containment test, but I didn't like the way that sounded. So tonight's title will be Containment Over Chaos, Laboratory Session number 1. Or we could call it Containment Laboratory Experiment number 1. So if you want me to title it as Containment Laboratory Experiment number 1, type experiment in the comments. If you would like me to leave the title Containment Laboratory Session 1, type session in the comments. I'm going to turn this off now. So as you see, you like experiment? Okay. I'll make sure that it's labeled experiment. All right. And then what I will do is I will use these little things I wear that are supposed to be trench coats, the purple and the black one. And so we'll use it like a mad scientist paranormal lab coat type of thing. And that'll kind of play into the 8 p.m. And so that's nice. I like that. Please remember that all these live streams are informal, but professional on my end. So you guys are welcome to show up in your underwear if you want, as long as I don't have to know about it. All right. But as far as us, we're a 501c hybrid business. So I'll always be put together somewhat. So that way I don't look like I just tripped out of bed and turned the computer on and I just kind of look like this. And all right. So have yourselves a good afternoon. It's lunchtime. It's a gorgeous day out there. I'm going to go enjoy it. But as far as Meta, which is also previously known as Facebook, don't worry about it, Chris. I was just trying to help you out a little bit with that. That's why I was trying to get you to steer away from the tagging and the using names and groups, because I don't know what it is that algorithm is looking for, but apparently it's looking for everything it can right now that it doesn't agree with. All right. And paranormal is something that I'm not sure the owner agrees with. Witchcrafts is something I'm not sure the owner agrees with. So you see where we're going there. I don't think it's going to matter what I try to post or comment or share. I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'll stay within the groups because as far as I know, they're not looking inside the groups. Does that make sense? So if you're sharing in your groups, share and tag in there. You should be okay. But as far as sharing outside our groups on Facebook, I think they're going to pick at every word they can. Even if it's just saying is in a sentence, I have a feeling the algorithm is going to pick it apart. So be very careful. Okay. So that being said, let's end this. It is about 38 minutes long. That's not bad. Have yourselves a good day at work if you're still at work. If you've liked anything you saw today, consider giving this episode a like, a thumbs up, like somebody already has. Thank you so much. Blessings to you today. That being said, I'm going to go eat some lunch, get to work on tonight's experiment script, and go outside and enjoy this day. Have yourselves a beautiful, blessed afternoon. This is Paranormal Witchcraft LLC, where we approach paranormal differently. Containment over chaos and evidence over egos. Blessings and blessed be. I love each and every one of you. Please go out and share this in love and light. Tobias out.